Hello and happy Saturday. I'm Katie. I'm a 47-year-old makeup artist. I'm here to show you easy to follow makeup tips and tricks. So today we're doing a simple everyday makeup routine. In fact, this is a makeup lesson I had the other day. This is like a refresh course for that person. I told her I would do this, and I'm filming this on Facebook, but I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. So we're going to use very few products today, actually. She did the everyday lesson, which includes an eyebrow pencil, a primer, a all-in-one palette that comes with a contour, powder, a blush, and a highlight, which we're also going to use as eyeshadow, and mascara and lipstick. So that's like 5 products we're going to use today. I did go ahead, for those of you on Facebook, I pinned my shopping link there in the comments because until Sunday night, which is tomorrow night, there is a promo going on that if you spend $85 or more, then you can get a $75 value bundle for free. There's 3 of them to choose from. It will show up in your cart, at the bottom of your cart, actually, if you reach the $85, and then you just choose. There's 3 different free bundles. You can choose the one you want and then add it to your cart. So since that promo is going on this weekend, I did want to go ahead and pin my shopping link in case you're interested. So again, we're using 5 products today, and this is going to be simple and easy. If you're on watching on Facebook and you want to say hi, that's great. If you're watching the replay, you can put a 2 in the comments. So we're starting with eyebrows, and what I like to do is just fill them in and shape them in a way that makes them look natural. So I'm going to basically mimic the brow hairs and go in the direction of the brow hairs. So we're kind of going up and at an angle, just following that natural pattern of the brow hair. So just filling these in. Then I'm going to comb back through them with the spoolie that's on the other end. And then what I'm going to do is take a Q-tip and do some cleanup. So we're just going to come down and around the bottom, just so that you don't have any like harsh lines that make it look drawn on, or if you got outside the lines, you know, it's going to clean that up. I am going to go ahead and put on my Blur primer. This primer is like a gel, and a little bit goes a long way, if you can see how much I got. This is great for the T-zone. It's going to help your pores disappear. It's going to help smooth out your face before you put makeup on, but it's also going to help your makeup last longer. So you definitely want to use primer. Once you have it where you want it, go back and tap it in, press it in, so that it can be absorbed into your skin. Because when you're rubbing product around, you're just spreading it. You want it to actually get absorbed. So that's the primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep my eyelids. Oh, the everyday makeup lesson also comes with a concealer. I forgot to mention that. So that's 6 products, I believe. So with the concealer, we're going to prep our eyelid. So prepping the eyelid is going to help even out the skin tone on your eyes, so your eyeshadow can stand out, but it's also going to help your eyeshadow last longer. You can use your beauty sponge or a brush. I'm just going to use a little, it's kind of like a miniature kabuki brush, just to tap it in. You can come outside the lines, like you can come past your tail of your brow here. We're going to do some cleanup, so it's okay if you do that. So I'm just tapping the product in, tapping that concealer into the skin. And then what I like to do is then go back and take my finger, because the warmth from my finger is going to help melt that product in further. So I'm just going to go back and lightly tap. You don't want to pull or tug the skin around your eyes, because that's going to create wrinkles. So just lightly, especially in the corners right here, you want to make sure that that concealer is well absorbed into the skin. So if you're watching on Facebook, if you'd like to just say hi, I would love to know who's watching. This is going to be going on my YouTube channel as well. So I'm going to take a setting powder and lightly just put that right on top of the concealer. Okay, so we have done our eyebrows already, we've done primer on the face, and we've prepped the eyelids. So we're using this all-in-one palette to cut down on time today. So we're gonna take the contour powder and we're gonna take an eyebrow brush. I'm gonna make sure it's cleaned off before I use it. So we're gonna take that contour powder with your eyes open, especially if you have hooded eyes. You wanna make sure that you keep your eyes open, looking straight ahead, and you're going to place this above your natural crease so that you can make sure you're bringing your eyeshadow up high enough. And then you see how there's like a fold of skin. So I'm just gonna go back and kind of fill that in, but I'm just focusing right now on this outer corner. I'm just building the eyeshadow. Hey Casey, thanks for watching. How are you? I'm just tapping it on because I'm building the color up. So we're going to clean off our brush or use a clean brush, but what I'm going to do first is go ahead and do the other eye. Tap that color on, looking straight ahead, placing it above the natural crease, just tapping it on. And you can come outside the lines if you want to, because we are going to clean it up like I said. I really didn't come out too far on this side, so I think I'm going to come back further. Okay, so we've got a good amount on there. I'm also going to go ahead and just take my brush and I'm going to squeeze it flat, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that color, that same color, under the eye, and this is going to act as my eyeshadow, my eyeliner. So it's going to give it a nice soft look that's going to be much better than a harsh eyeliner. All right, so I'm going to take a clean brush that doesn't have any eyeshadow on it. So you can clean off the brush you had, or you can use a different one. But now you want to make sure you're holding your brush further back so that you have a light hand. And you want to do small circles with a very light hand and blend out that eyeshadow. So you're just taking the color that's already there and you're bringing it over and up and out, okay? So that's what we're doing with a very light hand. You don't want to hold your brush like this because then you're going to apply too much pressure. So nice soft small circles to blend. And I kind of just go towards the nose and then I turn the circles away from the nose. So then if I go back towards the nose and then towards the ear. So just keep doing it until you like the way it looks. So now I'm gonna take the highlighter powder that's here. I'm gonna use my finger. I like to use my ring finger or my pinky because those are smaller and it gets into the corner better. So I'm gonna press this into the corner and bring it over to about halfway, okay? So the rule of thumb with the eyeshadow is that we are keeping our darkest colors on the outer corner and our lightest colors on the inner corner. So I'm just pressing that in and then swiping it over lightly. And I'm gonna go back now with the original brush that I used. It may still have some product on it. And I'm just gonna kind of tap some into the outer corner. All right, so now I'm gonna clean up. The eyes are finished. That was quick, right? Quick and easy. I'm gonna take a makeup wipe and I'm gonna wrap it around my finger and use the natural curvature or point of the finger to make a nice sharp edge to the eyeshadow while I'm cleaning up the mess. So just gently wipe away, and then when you get to the corner here, pull all the way up, and that's going to give you a really nice sharp edge there. Okay, so next step is foundation. So you're going to take your foundation, always shake it up, because with Farmacy our products have skincare ingredients in them. So you want to activate those skincare ingredients by shaking it, giving it a good shake before you use it. So I like to go ahead and just put it on the back of my hand and then place the foundation, which I'm going to get some more. face. So I have a really red face. This is a full coverage foundation that I'm using. Sometimes I do use CC cream under it, but because this is a darker shade, I'm doing self-tanning so I can bump up my shade. It covers better, so I don't have to use that CC cream under it right now. All right, so then I'm gonna take my foundation brush, and I didn't teach this in the lesson the other day, but if you have dry skin, you can spray your brush with setting spray. It's gonna help keep your foundation hydrated looking. So then we're just gonna take it and we're gonna basically stipple. And I like to start on the sides of the nose, in the middle of the face, because the sun does the most amount of damage in the middle of the face. You need more product here versus here. So start in the middle and do around the nose first, and then tap back into the hairline. So just keep doing this all over the face. And then when you get down here to the neck, you do want to bring it down onto the neck so that you don't have a makeup line. So I'm just gonna do this all over the face. We're doing stippling, pressing it in to the skin. You might wanna make sure you get your ear. I'm gonna go back and do that with my beauty sponge in just a moment. So I'm just gonna make sure I get the neck good. And then when I get to the forehead, I'll follow the pattern of the brow. So then I do like to take my dampened beauty sponge and go back and press it in, bounce it off the skin. And this is going to help pick up any excess product and maybe remove any brush strokes that might be left behind from the brush. If you notice, I didn't fill in from here up with the foundation because we're going to use concealer. So we're going to come down the neck. All right, so next up, we are going to do concealer. So if you look at where your eye bag is, you want to come down below the eye bag with your concealer. You want to go in the inner corner and the outer corner. I'll explain why we're doing it this way. Inner corner, outer corner. You can use a brush. I'm just going to use my beauty sponge. I'm going to use the pointed part, and I'm going to kind of squeeze it to give it more of a point and more control. So I'm going to take the concealer and I'm going to run it up and down the side of my nose first before I come across under the eye. And I'm not pulling, I am tapping. But when I get to the corner here, I'm going to pull it up towards the temple. Then I'm going to go back and blend it all in, pressing it in, and then just start kind of pressing it in over here so that you don't have like a white stripe on the side of your face. So same thing over here. We're gonna go up and down the side of the nose. And so in doing this, what you're doing is once you come across under the eye, you have less product. And so that way it's not gonna look cakey. And you wanna also make sure that you're really getting all the concealer worked in, because if you don't, it can look cakey. And that's why I like to take my finger. With warmth from my finger helps melt it in. And I just go back and lightly tap with my finger the concealer. And then I'm going to use just a little bit of setting powder under the eyes. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. All right, so we're going to go back to this all-in-one palette that I used for my eyeshadow. Again, it has a contour, a blush, and a highlighter. We used these two for the eyeshadow. So now we're going to do contour. So we're just gonna grab some on our brush. We're just tapping the brush in there. We're not swirling. Tap off your excess. When you go to do your bronzer, you're gonna start from the tip of your ear, go down towards your mouth, but you're gonna stop at the end of your eyebrow. So this is about the section that you're gonna do, and you're gonna start back here towards your hairline and just kind of press it in. Because we can blend. I know that looks like it's really dark, but we can blend it out. And because it's back here at the hairline and not in the middle of the face, it will be easier to blend. I'm just gonna kind of go up and down the side here just to blend that out some. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We're going to go from the tip of the ear towards the mouth. We're gonna stop at the end of the eyebrow. So about right here, we're just gonna tap it on. So if you were to do a fish face, you wanna be above the hollow. The hollow is here, so you wanna go above the hollow with the contour. If it helps to make it, you think about like a C, you kind of have like a C here, right? The letter C. I do feel like I got more on this side because I was using my camera to look instead of my mirror, which is never a good thing. So I'm gonna have to take a brush that doesn't have anything on it and just kind of help. I'm sure once I do my blush, that'll help as well. And I'll add some to the other side to help even it out some. So we're also gonna do the forehead right at the hairline, basically. Going right around the hairline. Take whatever's left and just lightly go under the jawline. It's barely even gonna be noticeable, but it's just gonna create like a little bit of a shadow. And that's the point with contour. You want it to be a shadow, not a stripe on your face. Got it kind of patchy looking here, so I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit more, and then I'm gonna take a brush that doesn't have any product on it just to further help blend it. I'm using a darker color than I normally do, so I'm just trying to get used to that. Because I am doing self-tanning, so I'm using a darker foundation right now as well. So just trying to get back into my spring and summer shades. Okay, so next up I'm gonna use a blush brush for my blush here. I'm gonna tap off the excess product before I touch the brush to my face. You wanna go right above the bronzer or the contour powder, and you wanna smile so you can hit the high point of your cheek. You really want to only come down until you hit the color of your eye. I think that's called the iris. All right, and you see how I'm just tapping that on? Everything I've done is so far is really a tapping motion, starting again back here at the hairline, so that if I have too much product on my brush, I'm not touching it directly to the middle of my face. It's easier to blend out and fix it that way. If you're not used to doing your blush this high, it's probably gonna feel like it's too high at first, but if you're near 40, it really does help give it a nice lifted look to the face. Again, I'm just taking a brush with nothing on it just to help kind of tone down these powders. And we are almost finished. I'm gonna do mascara and lipstick and I'll be finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face with setting spray to lock everything in. I like to do the setting spray before I do the mascara, because if your mascara is still wet and you do the setting spray, it creates a huge mess that's not easy to fix. So I try to get into the habit of doing the setting spray first. If you still feel like you have a couple of like wet spots on your face, you can take your dampened beauty sponge and just kind of lightly tap those spots in. All right, I'm gonna curl my lashes real quick before I do my mascara. And I'm gonna use brown mascara. I'm gonna do our brown Infinity Lash. So I like to get as close as I can to my lash line, do like a zigzag back and forth, and then pull up. I feel like doing that little tug helps give it more of a lift and more full look. There we go. And then I'm going to do the bottom before I go to the other eye. It's really hard to talk while I'm doing this, so I apologize for the silence. Okay, we're gonna do lips and then we will be finished. I'm just gonna use a lip liner in Ash Brown. I'm gonna do a liquid matte lipstick, number 7, which is called Moneymaker. It's a great neutral color. And then I like to put a gloss on top. So for today's gloss, I'm going to use Lithium Quartz. And all of the products I used are available on my shopping link that I have pinned in the comments. This weekend, like I said, there is a promotion going on. When you spend $85 or more, then you can choose between 3 different bundles for free that are $75 value. And that does end on Sunday night. So if you have any questions or need any help, let me know. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.